Hello, this is Just Listen, hosted by George. Today is April 2nd, 2024. I want to talk about U.S. government policy on elections and specifically the six swing states that everyone has agreed will make the difference in the election. I want to briefly touch on a couple of items with Michigan and Wisconsin, and then I'll get into the broader conversation of the other four states that are considered swing states in the 2024 election. And I'm going to apply some questions that you will not see in the media outlets that you need to think about. The first one is get out the vote. Will there be a surprise state? Does it matter if your party is the governor in the state? What issues matter? The role of the press can make one candidate look better than the other. The control of the political parties. How about bringing in ex-presidents? Like I said earlier, I want to highlight Michigan and Wisconsin briefly because they are swing states. So in 2020, Biden won Michigan by more than 150,000 votes, but it was tighter in Wisconsin where he was at a little under 21,000 votes. That's how close that these elections can be, and I want to highlight it for those reasons. I want to talk about who's governors in the quote-unquote swing states. Arizona has a Democrat, Georgia has a Republican, Michigan has a Democrat, Nevada has a Republican, Pennsylvania has a Democrat, and Wisconsin has a Democrat. I want to pose the question, get out the vote. That is the most important one. The political parties are very structured now, especially in the primaries, and they pretty much control who gets the nomination. In the swing states, it's going to be the same way this time, with them focusing on their demographics that they want to get out. Who do they want to get out to vote? They want to get black voters out, and they also want to get out Latino voters. How do they do this? Whichever side that you are on, you try to get them upset about something so that they'll come out and vote. And so in these states, it's going to be the same deal. And I predict that you're going to start seeing them do that. Will there be a surprise state? I think that Georgia might be a surprise state. I think that the voters may be tired of reliving the 2020 election and really just focus on the current policies that each candidate is going to have. That's what I would call. There might be another one, maybe New Mexico, but it's still early. Why do I say that? A lot of people from California that are conservative move either to New Mexico or Arizona. That's why you saw the numbers go down and make it a tighter election in those states. Does it matter if your party is governor in the state? We're going to find out. I think in the presidential elections in these states, people are voting on the policies. I think it's going to be interesting to see how Arizona votes this time around. As I told you before, Arizona has a Democrat. And on top of that, we just came out of the census and they gained some population. And those that thought that the immigration was lax for that fact, we're going to find out. Georgia, again, is going to be interesting because they have a Republican governor. They also have some issues that might come into play, like abortion. What issues matter? Like I just said, Georgia is going to be abortion. Why? Middle class, and you can go read this, middle class white women, black women, they want privacy. You can say and talk about abortion any way that you want, but it comes down to women wanting privacy to make the decision on their own. And like I've told you in the past, it's not all of the states, it's pockets of it. And actually, in the majority of the states, after 6 weeks, you can't have an abortion unless it's an extreme case where the baby or the mom are in danger. And I know some of you won't like that, but that's how it is. Immigration, like I said, we only have one border state. So with the swing states, is it an issue? We'll find out. I don't think that that's going to be as big as people think that it is. Meaning that unless you live in Arizona, maybe Nevada, you're not that concerned about it. Now, Nevada is very interesting. They had a late senator who was the leader of the Democrats in the Senate, Harry Reid. They have an airport named after him as well. If the Latino vote is strong, they may lean Democrat. We have to look at the issues and also how immigration is affecting them. The wars in Israel, Hamas war, Ukraine war, those are going to be factors in Michigan and Pennsylvania. Why? They have high populations of Arabians in both of those states. And during the primary, you saw that, especially in Michigan, they were telling the Democratic president that they did not like what was going on. And I would like to do a program about that separately. The cost of the wars will matter in Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. What role of the press can make one candidate look better than the other? Unfortunately, and this is a situation that gets sensitive with some people, there is no doubt that candidates get favored. And one candidate can be made look like they are the worst person on the planet, where the other one can be made to look like that they're actually doing a good job. Read between the lines on that one. And all of the press isn't guilty of it. The press is based on the ratings that they get in. And quite honestly, people are tuning in. People love drama. That contributes to that. And in the swing states, it's going to be the same way. Example, Arizonians are going to be told that they are being threatened by immigrants coming into the country. Nevada as well. And I think that might surprise some people in those states to how people are voting. The control of the political parties. I mentioned this earlier, and I was amazed this time around that certain candidates were left off of the ballot. And they went on to control the whole primary season. One party did that. It was the Democrats. And that really surprised me. On the Republican side, they had 11. You knew who the nominee was going to end up being. And I applaud Nikki Haley for staying in the race as long as she did. This is America. Everybody gets a shot at it. But the political parties are definitely in control this cycle of it. How about bringing in ex-presidents? The Democrats can do that because they get along. Unfortunately, on the Republican side, not so much. Will it hurt one of the candidates? I don't think that it will, because on the Republican side, they wanted to go in a much different direction anyway. They want to get rid of the high deficits. They want border security, so you get the flavor of them wanting to radically change it, whereas the old guard, say from George W. Bush back, they were different. The policies were. So the swing states are going to be where you see the majority of the campaigning going on. They did mention Ohio. Maybe that'll be a surprise as well. And we have to get away from the drama in the swing states and look at what the candidates are standing for. Arizona is a great example. If they don't mind migrants coming from the South American countries, we're going to find out. Michigan and Pennsylvania, they have the most electoral votes that are at stake. And the next one after that would be Georgia. In Georgia, I think that they're going to be a toss-up till late at night. And I'm going to officially tell you now, the election will not be decided on election night. As I stated earlier, I want to dig in to some other areas with this. This is George. This is Just Listen. Let me know what you think.